going on, everybody? It's the Junior Coder here, and we have another mod review and showcase for Sergeant Good 18's Pine City pack. And as some of you guys asked in the comments what happened to his fire pack, well, he was doing some updates to it, and we have that as a showcase today. Was supposed to be kind of the primary thing with the pack today, but he also threw out and released his undercover pack, and last video the transport skin wasn't working for the prisoner transport van, and it is now. So, anyways, I'd like to welcome to you guys Sergeant Good 18.
You cut out there for a second.
Oh, yeah, I was like, I'd like to introduce Sergeant Good 18.
Hey guys.
There he is. Okay, so didn't quite hear me right there off the bat, but that's all right. I won't even worry about editing that. Sometimes we just need a little bit of comedy.
Let's just say shit happens when it comes to lag, so
yeah.
There's not really much you can do about it.
No. Again, we couldn't actually get him physically into the game. Some issues with Gary's Mod being Gary's Mod. So he is watching through a broadcast through Steam. And he's going to try to walk through everything. We're first going to talk about his Pine City Fire Pack that just got released. Well, he hasn't fully released it yet, but we're going to take a sneak peek at it first before he does fully release it, just to kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on. First off, we're going to look at his Battalion Chief 1 here. If I can not press GTA keys. So tell us a little bit about the components and what you have going on with this vehicle here before we go through all the different patterns.
Hang on a second. Alright. So, what I did here is I have added the wheel and ions to the running boards here, running just all reds. I've added wheel and ions to the rear passenger windows. They're both running red and white. But this time we are running a I think they call it the Valor.
Yes, up on the top.
Yeah.
Yep, that is a Federal Signal Valor.
Yeah, thank you. I had to stop and think for a second. The Federal Signal Valor is just running all reds. We also have a Federal Signal Dual Viper in the front windshield running red and white. What I've also added to the vehicle is we have running fog lights running just red. And of course, since I'm watching his stream, it's kind of hard to see, but shit happens.
Yep.
I also have, yeah. So basically what I've done with this vehicle is I've added the fog lights. They're just flashing reds back and forth, and it's the same thing with the headlights. They're just running white. LED lights. I also have two wheel and ion splits behind the grille. They're both running red and white, while there are just two wheel and ions just running reds. It does take quite a while for me to get a pack put together, so that's why I've put the 3 vehicles out today, so that it's something out there for you guys to use until I update the pack again. And what I think the problem was with JR having problems not seeing the skin for the Savannah is probably because the publishing tool didn't recognize the file, and I had to go back in, and so when I updated the PD pack, now the skin shows up for him.
Which we do have a problem with another vehicle similar to that, and we'll get to it when we get there. That'll be probably the last vehicle in the fire pack that we do. And I like the interesting taste on the vehicle, the color scheme that you have going on here with this blue. Now, you originally wanted a like blue and white if I remember correctly, and then the white always just
No, it was supposed to be more of a blue and silver, but it decided to turn out gray. So it's like,
which
you know what?
it,
Which actually looks good.
it does look really good. I will say that the blue and gray colors do look really good, and a lot of fire departments don't use really out of the box colors. And I know that when we do when we've done our modding for the Code 3 RP server, we tried to think outside of the box as far as colors go. We went with kind of a darker red and gray scheme, which looked amazing. I'm really liking, again, with very clean textures, very simple textures, but very clean at the same time as well. And I didn't notice this at first, but I noticed that you got some roof decals on there too, which looks really cool. I just now noticed that.
Now, I know there are some people that are more advanced when it comes to skins. They make advanced textures and all that, and I've been trying to work on it, but they just never seem to come out right, or it's just because it's just how it is, all that. Because I've been working with so many different skins.
I'm not a master designer of skins myself, and this is right here about what I'd come up with.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, we're gonna move on to the Pierce. By the way, that is the Tahoe made by Lone Wolfie. It is in a Tahoe Suburban pack by Lone Wolfie. We're gonna get on to Pierce Contender Pumper, and there is a backstory to this as well, and I will get to it towards kind of the end. But on why we don't even have it in our server as far as for the Code 3 RP server. But anyways, want to go over some stuff here with us on this one.
Okay, the engine is a little noisy. Yeah, you might want to get out of it so that people can hear us.
Oh, I can hear just fine, but it might be just because my volume's turned up. Well, I can hear it on your end, so it's got to be pretty loud. But anyways, go ahead and let's go over the components here, starting with the front, since I'm looking at it.
Okay, so what I've done with Perrins, or however he pronounces his name, what I've done with his Pierce Contender Pumper truck is I've added the Whelen Ultra Freedom to the roof. I've added LED red lighting, which are flashing back and forth, as you can see. And we also have the same thing going with the headlights. Mm-hmm. Not many fire departments have those, but some do. It really depends on where you're at. So
right. And we're gonna move on to the kind of left side here a little bit. Start with the left side of the cab. If you want to start from the corner, move your way towards the back.
Yeah, we'll work on each side. So
yeah. I'm noticing I'm looking at a Noble's M9 on the front bumper for an intersection light.
Yes, because there are lots of fire departments that have those kind of lights on the front bumper, which is actually pretty good because I've grown up seeing them, because when I was younger, I would always go and visit one of the stations that's right down the road from me. And this was all back in Houston, Texas when I was younger. So I was always eager to go see them and visit them and just have fun talking to them. So it's gotten me really inspired. So when I started going on to Google Images, looked up Houston Fire Department, I noticed that they had the lights on the front bumper. And so now as I moved to Florida, I have noticed that some fire departments are running Whelen M9s on the side on the cab.
And I think that's ultimately, as far as manufacturers go, that's kind of one of the just kind of default lights that you get on that corner bumper, or anywhere nowadays, especially Pierce. I know Pierce loves to use the Whelen M9s. And I think it's just because Whelen make such a great product and everything else. But as far as them corner lights go, I almost think it's just pretty much standard for kind of safety. I don't know any fire department to opt out of them, for that matter. And I see that you kind of got the Federal Signal actually I believe this is made by Noble as well. The Ultra Freedom mini bar on the side, top part of the cab, as well as all
Yeah,
the
that
M9s.
that was made by Noble, which I really like the pattern. And actually, there was one guy who actually did a custom pattern, which is actually pretty good. His name is Creator, and he's actually one of my friends here. I think he's online too. Yeah, he is, but I'm not going to bother him. So it's
Right.
like it
But either way,
because
go check him out, and go check out his custom pattern.
yeah, because the custom pattern is I have. Well, technically, I came up with the idea for a custom pattern, but I was never able to do it. So it was technically an idea, and Creator actually made it happen. So it
Right.
really came out nice, but it's just a lot of work, and it's just something that I just don't have that much experience doing, which is custom light bars.
Right. Now, and then of course, right above the rear wheel well, you have the M9 flashing as well.
Yes,
What is with
that is standard for our fire departments.
Yep. Again, that's another one that just most fire departments have, and I think So, but why put the giant Pine City Fire Department logo on the back cabinet?
Well, there are other fire departments that in this country they do have their logos on the far back, which is actually pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I actually think it looks amazing, and they only have the title for that department on the doors.
So you kind of just went, with the insignia on the back as well, as long as just the title on the front. And then the paramedic
Yes.
rescue, as well, which a lot of fire departments are switching to paramedic engines. We're working on the rear of the truck, which I think is absolutely awesome on what you did with the rear of this truck. I must say so. If I must say so myself, it's pretty awesome having to see these micro wheel and edge micro or free, wheel and micros, also created by Noble, with the two M9s and the flash pattern in the rear of the truck.
Yes. Now, with the micros, they pretty much look like they're like the ones that New York uses for their fire departments, but Noble has come up with a photon fire and rescue add-on, so you can actually look on his profile and you can find it.
Yep.
And
He's
basically
yeah.
it's just light patterns based on NYFD. So
FDNY, good sir. But yeah, I mean, he also go check that out. He does have his own the photon development community is coming out. Most of the photon development stuff was mostly made for police department vehicles, and they're recently coming out with a fire and EMS or fire department version and fire EMS version as well, where it's mostly just red, white lights and lights that you can place onto the vehicles. And I think Unlimited, Noble, and a couple other people have their hands in on that. So really no difference from the right side than from the left side as far as the lights go there. But again, very nice, good, simple texture that's very clean, and you can tell there. We're gonna move on to the ambulance now, starting from the front here. Rescue 1, as it's called. Now, as I see and I'm looking at it, the giant Rescue 1 on the hood. It was that. Not too many places have a giant Rescue 1 on the hood of their vehicles.
not many, but here in my county, our fire departments do have that on their ambulance, which is actually pretty good.
Right.
And so it gave me the idea, hey, why the hell not? Let's just put Rescue 1 straight on the hood, and it's big. So people, it's like, and they can see you.
Right, and this is Perrin's Dodge Ram ambulance.
Yes, that's correct.
That this is on. The two split M9s in the grill look absolutely amazing, and the large amount of M9s that are your actual primary warning lights. Now, was this a kind of New York style ambulance inspiration, or is this something from your actual community EMS
Well,
department.
this one was actually something that wasn't from an EMS department or anything else. It just happened to come to mind.
Okay. I know a lot of ambulance agencies. I know New Orleans EMS does it, but there is a kind of specific pattern that we've even tried to replicate and couldn't replicate. I know St. Vincent Ambulance in New York City does this with a lot of their ambulances with this kind of almost exact setup, but different pattern. But it still looks good nonetheless. Very much enjoy seeing that. Now, instead of doing a solid M9 or solid two M9s side by side, you went with something different here. Kind of a red-white mini M9s on top of each other. What was your kind of thought process behind that? Was that also kind of a community department inspiration, or was that kind of like your own kind of idea?
It was my own kind of idea. It's like you always see them side by side, but you never see them on top of each other. So that was something I wanted to put differently instead of just doing side by side.
Okay, so kind of mix it up a little bit. I like the giant Pine City Fire Department emblem on the side, along with the one. It looks really good there. And then we're gonna move to the back of the ambulance, which also is something that I've not seen before and is a little bit different, which is the three M9s separated. I guess kind of tell us your kind of thought process behind that.
Well, for this one, it was also something that just came to mind, and because usually you don't have that many Whelen M9s on the back or any, but it was just something that came to mind because we have Whelen M9s running red, white, and amber. So as you can see towards the center, the two outer M9s are running amber lighting.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see. Yeah, I can say that I have seen not this exact kind of pattern before. Pretty close to it if you added two M9s in between each of the around the center pattern there, the center three, if you know what I'm saying. A local ambulance company around where I'm at, and that works in the same county as I do, they actually have that kind of mini M9s across the side, across the top there. But the two M9s that are on the other side of the center three are actually used as floodlights. So, and I like the two M9s down here on the bottom, as well, along with this.
That was actually something that our department uses down here in Florida for their ambulances.
Yeah, and an ambulance company I've worked at too has had that as well, except not M9s. I think they were the 400, like the larger 400s or 900s. But and then of course we will get to the different flash patterns as well. But you can see that there's a directional bar in the back here as well. So that will do it for that ambulance though. But that is Perrin's Dodge Ram ambulance with the Photon and Pine City skin on it. And now we're gonna get to the Paramedic Suburban that is our problem child today. That starting from the front, I can see we have two ions in the mirrors, 4 ions in the front, as well as the different floodlights for the floodlights and the wigwags. You have a a Federal Signal Valor on the top, along with the split lights in the running board, and a Tomar in the back, as well as the two ions in the back, or on the back bumper, which a lot of police departments and fire departments do, and is that one of the reasons why you've kind of did it, is because a lot of places do it, it looked really cool, and it gives an extra lighting in the back of the vehicle as well.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, but I've also noticed as you're passing the outside of the Suburban, I am missing a few components, which in the meantime I will be updating after a bit, and if I'm not busy with anything else. But also the Suburban, the Tahoe, and the Pierce Contender pumper truck, they are running the Woodway engine Whelen Syncom Sapphire siren. So I
did change those.
Yeah,
that's this one siren. That's one of them sirens I cannot stand. But again, you can easily change the default siren on these, and I'll show you real quick. Just siren model, and then choose whatever kind of siren you want, and then just Like, I think the engine, I put the Federal Signal EQ2B on it, and the ambulance, I put the 295 and the Gamma on the Tahoe. So, but, yeah, if you don't like the default siren, you can change them. But, yeah, I did notice that you had the Sencom Sapphire on there as well. But, yep, the Tahoe is supposed to have a paramedic skin on it. For a paramedic.
That's the Suburban.
Or, yeah, the Suburban is supposed to have. You know, the one that's all white. Is supposed to have a skin on it, but again, the skin isn't working, which I might be able to show in a future video. Trying to think of anything else here that I missed. Anything that I missed on the Suburban?
It also has a directional bar on the back and the rear windshield, so.
Yep, and the Tomar, which
just to maximize the effectiveness.
Yep, which I will go over. Let's go over the different patterns in each of the vehicles here. After I switch out, now let's go to that. All right, so this is our primary code 3 lights. There's code 1 for the Tahoe. Again, kind of a slower pattern. There's code 2, which is a little bit more of a faster, more random pattern, and then code 3, which is super fast and super random. Does have a directional bar. There it is. Also in the Valor, it's got the directional bar. There's left. There's diverge. Come on. And there's right. So I'll just leave that on. The engine, which I don't think you have any directional patterns on that. But there's 1. There's 2, which is the double stacked kind of pattern. There's 3. It does have a directional, but I don't think it is supposed to kind of be in there, but it does on the rear of the Freedom, which we'll just kind of ignore there. We have the ambulance here. I did check out the patterns there. I slowed down, more synchronized pattern for code 1. Code 2 is a little bit of a more faster, more strobe kind of pattern. And like I said, code 3 is kind of both those patterns combined. Also the directional pad here, there's diverge, there's right, and there's left. And then like we were saying earlier with the Suburban, there's code 1 for you, code 2, and code 3. And as he was saying earlier in the Tomar with the directional pattern, also in the Valor. Verge and right. Now we're going to move on to the police vehicles. We're going to go over the Pine City Prisoner Transport real quick because we did go over it in the last video that we did for the showcase of the rest of the police vehicles. And this is what the skin is supposed to look like for the Prisoner Transport vehicle that we weren't seeing in the last one. And again, very solid job. Very clean and simple. So we're going to move on now to the Charger, which definitely has some interesting kind of lighting options in it, I noticed. As like we noticed right off the bat here with the 4 single Vipers that are the dual colored here in the front. What was kind of your thought process behind that?
It was just another thing that came to mind. It really wasn't coming out the way I thought it was going to, but as I looked at it from different distance, it was looking a lot better, and it
yeah, no,
it just
I do like how it almost looks like it's on each side of the mirror, and the mirror splits it. That to me is a really nice look, and it actually did come out, even though it was an accident, it was a good accident. It came out looking very nice.
Yeah, we'll just call it a very bad accident that turned out good. Let's just put it that way.
All right, I'll give it just a second. And I also noticed that we have the red blue in the grill, or in the good lord, in the fog lights, the wigwags here. We really don't have anything on the side to kind of talk about. but this is okay. But then we have in the back here the dual Viper up in the top windows, the red-blue dual Vipers, the strobe lights in the rear headlights. Now, this was something I noticed that was a little odd. The single dual color, or the single split colored wheel and ion on the trunk.
Oh my god! How did I forget that? I was gonna add another one to the other side. So, yeah, I'm gonna be fixing that as soon as I can.
Okay, okay. I was like, that's kind of an interesting concept and kind of weird, but I'm like, it oddly looks kind of good. I'm like, okay, but all right.
Yeah, that
so
was
pretend
one thing.
there's another one on the other side here of the trunk, folks. But that'll be repaired in a future update. So that is TDM's 2009 Charger is what it's called. Either way, it's a TDM Charger police vehicle. We're gonna move on to. Good lord, what is going on here?
Yeah, I can hear it in your room too.
Ooh,
so,
hold on.
yeah, just to let you guys know that I will be fixing that immediately as soon as I can. But yeah, there are going to be some changes to these, and hopefully that they come out good and not all screwy. Just to let you know.
Right.
Because I completely forgot about that, and it's like, I guess my game froze, and it's like, I probably forgot about it, so yeah.
So now we're going to move on to TDM's 2012 Dodge Charger, which has kind of a basic, your normal basic police car setup with the full bar up in the front, the dual Vipers on the bottom of the windshield, and the dual M9s in the grill. Nothing too much.
Wheel and ions, not M9s.
That's yeah, wheel and ions. Excuse me. And then we have a normal, kind of a normal setup in the back. Nothing kind of crazy or special with the Charger here, as far as kind of light setups goes. You're pretty basic, well, slick top Charger, unmarked Charger. As far as it goes here, unless there's anything that I missed that you're like, no, there's something hidden in there.
No, there's nothing. There's nothing hidden there.
Okay, no hidden meanings in this Charger today. We're gonna go with the Impala now and start off in the front. This is Lone Wolfie's Impala, which you can find in the workshop in the Impala pack. We have 2 split wheel and ions in the front, 2 wheel and bar, full size wheel and visor bar in the top. I thought there was something on the side here, but apparently not. Oh no, that was on the Tahoe. We have 2 wheel and ions by the license plate there, which looks really good if I may add so myself. You don't see too many police vehicles now with that unless they're like the Tahoes. And then of course we have the dual visor lights in the rear as well. So very solid, very good looking there for a slick top. So let's gonna go over the patterns here real fast. There's code 1, code 2, and there's code 3. I don't think there's a directional bar on this on the older Charger, right?
No, there is. Hang on. Yeah, there's no directional bar on that one.
Okay. And the 2012 Charger, there's code 1, code 2, and code 3. There's the directional bar in the back there. There's left, diverge, and right. And, oop, I spawned in the hood there. And then for the Impala here, we have code 1, code 2, which is, it kind of also has a swipe pattern to it, which is interesting. Code 3, and the directional bar in the back, which is left, diverge, and right. So, and then of course we've seen the prisoner transport van, but we can go over it again if you guys missed it in the last video. There's code 3, there's code 1, code 2, back to code 3, and that has a directional bar as well on the actual Freedom. So, And that's going to do it for this kind of mod showcase today, unless I missed anything else here.
Not that I'm aware of, no, but if there is anything, I will let you know.
Yeah. And also, I'm going to leave Sergeant Good's link to his Steam page in the description, so you guys can go visit his Steam page and get to his workshop and find these and look at all of his other mods that he has came out with. And as always, guys, remember to leave a like down below, click the subscribe button, and click that bell to get notifications of any other videos that I post. Visit our website at juniorcoders.wixsite.com/juniorcoders for the side-by-side live streams on Twitch that will be happening as soon as the start of December 1st for Devil Tamer 94 and myself. And remember to share with your friends, family, coworkers, and all that stuff. I will see you guys all in the next video.
Bye.